Patron, take them away.
Okay guys, let's have a little breakdown of a chart. See if we can make some sense of it. So I'm going to flick this over and I'm going to pick on oil because I was looking at it yesterday and let's just say it didn't go to plan. All right, it did all right. You know, I still got my money out of it, but I mistimed it. All right, so I had to sacrifice it a little bit. So what elements can you put into this chart to help you read it? Well, there's quite a few. So the first thing is, what we're going to do is we're going to look at a daddy trade. Now, if you haven't in tune with the market, this is a good way of getting in tune with it. All right. And what a daddy level is, or daddy trading, and if you look at sort of past videos, I've spoke about this for years. It's nothing new, you know. I was talking about daddy levels 4 or 5 years ago, you know. So in we go, and what it is a high, a low, an open, or an open close rather, there, and then you want the middle point. All right, sometimes referred to as the meridian. Okay, now this concept dates back pretty much to the 20s, you know, the days of Jesse Livermore and things like that. So whenever you see these concepts, and there are quite a few kicking around the internet saying it's the latest thing, it's not. It's been around forever. All right. There's nothing new in trading, guys. Right. So what does that define? Well, that actually defines yesterday's range. So what you're looking for is to see how today is performing against it. Is it engulfed inside it? Has it broken out? Etc, etc. Okay. So if we take it to an hourly, you'll be able to see this. So what we need to do is figure out where 12 o'clock is, which is here. So what it's done is it started in the upper range, broke out. Right. Well, if that's the case and it recedes on itself, here is about as maximum as where it's going. All right. It's playing in the upper segment. So if you're going to fade it into the range, these become target points. 1, 2, 3. All right. Why? Because it's playing in the upper range and it's stayed in there for quite a while. Now there is another way you can test this. All right. And what you do is you get an indicator called a pivot. Now this particular pivot, it's the high, the low, the close, divide by 3, and it gives you a marker. Now that marker again gives you something that you can use. So there it is there, and then you've got this pivot here. Now the rule of thumb with a pivot is this: if it opens above the pivot, it'll try and get to R1, and if it opens below, it'll try and get to S1. Sure enough, that's exactly what it's done to the pivot. Bubble. Right, okay. If it's failing, it'll come back to range. Well, don't need this anymore. So that's what it's doing. It's coming back to range. It's failed this. So where's its testing point? Well, it's tested here. So that's created an area of attraction, which is this. Okay. Now what can we do? Well, if it's failing tops, etc., etc., we can build this even further by adding Fibonacci into it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drop it out to a monthly, and we're going to look for the key Fibonacci's that we can see. Now there has to be a strong directional move that the price is contained in. Well, price is here. That move hasn't finished, but that one has. Definitive bottom, definitive top. So that becomes a fib you can use. from here to here, just like so. Now what this is going to do is this is going to define this range even more. There's the 50%. I'll just put this in red, just like so. Move that to one side. The price is holding under the 50. So that's telling you there's downward pressure on the monthly. Okay. Now, I don't want to draw the same fib in again, so I'm just going to put that there. What's happening on the weekly? Well, there isn't a strong directional move, and there isn't anywhere that is a definitive top and bottom. So you can't really draw a fib on this, all right? But what you can see is there is definitely a downward trajectory daily. Well, we're always looking closest to the price, and we're looking at prices here. It's contained in this range, and that range is contained in that move. It's a solid move, right? Okay. Fib started up here, came down to here and across. Again, we're tightening up the range. So this is the upper section, that 50%. We'll just put these in different colors so that we can see it as we go down the chart. Key areas of attraction. Right. And again, we can see it's pushing down, etc., etc. And there's some form of activity happening within this move. What's happening with this move? Come down here. Well, shocker. Straight up stall. All right. We've just established this. If it gets through, it's coming to here. Shocker. This fib is highlighting stall points and top points here and here. Okay, now we have this. So let's look at the hourly, see what's happening. Sure enough, there's a strong directional move we can add some levels to. Now, all we're doing here is world building based on key moves that we can see. Bingo. All right. I'll explain why it's bingo in just a second. Just change the colors. There. That's the key area. And why? Because it's fibs highlighting it. Come back to the 50, which is here. Put the 38 in, which is there. All the way down to this point. Right. So what's all this telling us? What's it got to do with a slice of bread? Well, basically what I've done is I've mapped the chart out. I can see key areas of attraction, and the blue lines, the blue dotted lines, can give me an entry exit. So if I'm entering, that's where I'm looking to get out. That sort of thing. All right. So 15 minutes. See the failure. It's come back down into range. It's pushing up. Okay. How can I time this? What is a quick and easy trigger to time this? It's not as difficult as you think. Put an RSI on. Simple RSI. 5, 50, 50. Right, it's pushing up. You can see it. It's pushing up. It's pushing up here. If it's going to push up, where's it going? It's going there. All right. Am I happy with that? Well, let's check it. Well, it's still pushing up. Bingo. Push. So we just buy it. Simple. Stick a $5 in it. Just buy the thing. Boom. Just like so. Where am I targeting? Well, I've just established a target point. A good target point. You know, let me just drag this down into value. Right. There we go. So I can get that to there. There's a target. Simple target. Easy target. What have I just done? Well, I've worked my way into a map. You know, very, very easy map to read because it's come from a monthly, weekly, daily, down through the 4-hour and the hourly. Shows everything. It showed me the stress points of the market, the open, the close, the high, the low, the midpoint. The pivot showed me failure points and where it can top out. And then the Fibonacci mapped it and then just drop it into an RSI, which is a 5, and look to see where the pressure is. Is it above the 50? Well, the pressure is to the upside. Is it confirmed? Yes. Look at a 15-minute, look at a 5 to the upside. So for the next 15 minutes, we're going to buy it. That's simple. How far can it go? Straight into that dotted line. And that's about as simple a trade as you can get. So let me play this out and I'll come back to you at the end when you're looking at risk and things like that. What I'll say is apply common sense to stops. If they're too wide, they're going to wipe you out. If they're too tight, you're going to get death by 1,000 cuts. You know, I personally manage mine. You know, I'm an advocate of a wider stop, but it's not a stupid stop. And I work on a broken entry process where I'll put maybe up to 5 positions in, working backwards to a singular target and a singular stop. What that does is it reduces exposure to the downside and increases the upside. Some people can't deal with that. They have to go 100% to market. I'm the other way. I don't want to go 100% to market because if I'm wrong, and inevitably I am, you know, you never time it correctly. I mean, on this one, again, I should have entered probably on this candle. I would have had decent profit by now. Okay, so the best entry point was this candle here because it closed across. So that would be an entry there. Again, if I put a measuring tool on, that would have made 100 quid if I'd got in at the right time, but I haven't. I've got in late, but I'm looking to get up to here or in and around this area, you know, so I'll just go to the tops of this cluster. It's fine. And then just round it off, maybe use 20 pips. There you go, there's 20 pips, 100 quid. Pretty simple. All right, can live with that. Now, there's a swing. You can put that as a point of pain, you know, don't want to be in there. There's another point of pain down here. Don't want to be there. Right, okay. So you can average all the way down there to get up to here and you'll still be making money. You know, personally on this one, it's quite a dangerous market. I would probably be looking here as last point of entry, you know, so I would only run down to about here. Once I go past this swing, I'm probably wrong and I need to think about what I'm doing. And in that case, my thinking stop takes over. I'll either make the decision to kill it myself or the hard stop, which will not be very far away from that point, will make that decision for me. You know, very, very simple way to trade. Let's run it out. Okay guys, there you go. Very simple trade, reasonably well executed. I was a little bit late to the party because obviously I was talking to you lot. But look where it pushed to. The absolute pip. Stopped dead on it and then pulled away. Now, will it break through? Well, it could do. But what we've established here is clean air, but also clear, definable points that the market will stall at. Now, the market will push backwards and forwards inevitably all the time anyway. But if you know where these stall points are, your direction doesn't become the be all and end all of everything. What you do is you have a conviction. Now, I had a conviction that this was going to push up based on kind of what I saw. And I decided just to buy into it. Now, if I was having a conviction to the sell side, because there is a lot of selling pressure inside of this market as well, well, wouldn't that be a nice place to sell it? And then get out down here somewhere. Simple. So that was kind of using daddy levels and pivots and a little bit of fib just to map a chart, then get an overall view of what's going on, and then just used an RSI as a trigger. Trading is pretty much as simple as that. The trick is not to be greedy. The trick is not to try and, well, outwit the market, shall we say. Just trade what it shows you. That's simple. So there we go. Very, very quick one. I did it really for myself because I was looking at it. I'm not really trading this week because I'm getting ready for Traders Day Live. I'm off tomorrow, Friday, and I might take Monday off as well because it's going to be an exhausting weekend. But that's the beauty of what we do. If you want to take some time off, you can. Why not? So there we go. So if you're stuck, by all means contact me. I'm very easy found. All my contact details are in the comments. Do leave a comment while you're having a check of that. And as always, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.